Welcome to the Eldenwood Craft Podcast. My name's Emma and this is my corner of the internet where I get to talk to you about all the things I've been making since I last recorded an episode, which was, if I remember rightly, the end of November. So comparatively for me, that's quite a short gap, and I have definite plans for 2021 to make those gaps even shorter. I think something's just flown into my window. I'm coming to you today, as always, from my house, my home in Surrey in the south of the UK. I'm sat in the same spot as I was last time. I'm not very consistent about where I record from, but I'm going to try and bring a little bit more consistency to the podcast over the next year. And so I'm going to try and always record from this spot, which is in my craft room, or Eldenwood Craft headquarters as I like to call it. I've got a nice big window opposite me, so hopefully that'll mean the light generally is quite good. Ramble over. Thank you very much for stopping by and having a watch today. If this is your first visit, a really big thank you for giving the podcast a try. I hope you enjoy it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for more of my highly professional ramblings. How have you been? Things here are okay. December was a bit really, for me. Nothing happened. Nothing's happened for months, really, has it? There was nothing particularly wrong with December. It's just I was not feeling in the best of spirits generally. But I've started 2021 with a little bit more of a spring in my step. So yeah, current situation in the UK is that we are in lockdown, lockdown number 3. You probably know that already, and I think probably quite a large proportion of the people watching this will also be in lockdown. For me and my family, it doesn't really make a huge difference to how life was before. I work in the NHS, and so I go into work most days, although I work in a low risk COVID part of our local hospital. But yeah, so it's busy at the moment, really busy. But we'll get through the next few weeks, couple of months, 3 months, who knows. For my husband, he's been working at home since March, and so he continues to work at home, and that's not much difference for him. My daughter probably has been most affected by where we are today. She's 18 and it's her A-level years. A-levels are exams you take at the end of sort of formal secondary school. But she'll get through it. She's had offers from her universities and she's got the offers that she wants, so it looks like all being well in September she'll go off to university. And then I'm hoping that there might be a little change in our lives, but I'm keeping mum about that at the moment. Watch this space for more news later in the year. Right, show notes will be in the description box below this video. There'll be links to everything that I talk about. If you're clicking on project links or pattern links, just please be warned that they will take you through to Ravelry. So if you're having any problems with Ravelry at the moment, then best to avoid doing that. Also linked below will be all the places on the internet and so on that you can find me, a link to my website, which is eldenwoodcraft.com. For those of you who don't know, I make and sell project bags for other makers via that website. Yeah, so please feel free to go and have a look, although as with last time, there's not a lot in there at the moment. I had a shop update yesterday, which was really successful, and if you happen to go and have a look or buy something, thank you so much. Thank you. I've got my show notes, which is why I keep looking down. I cannot do this without show notes. My memory, the memory of a 50-something, is not what it used to be. So I do have to have everything written down. Yeah, so if you enjoy the podcast, please do give it the thumbs up to show that you like it. if you would like to have my podcast pop up in your YouTube feed when I upload a video, then press the subscribe button as well, and you'll never miss an episode. Lucky you. It does make a difference, the likes and subscribes. I know I've said that before, but it does help to publicise and share the video wider. And I'd like to talk to as many people as possible. Right, so what we're going to talk about today. Today's going to be a slightly different episode. Normally, if this is your first time, normally what I talk about on this podcast, like many podcasters, is sharing with you what I've got on my needles at the moment, what I've been making, what I've finished since I last recorded. But this time, I'm going to make it a bit of a Make 9 special, I suppose. I'm going to talk about the winners for the end of 2020 Make 9. Then I'm going to show you what I've been making. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to show you, it's a bit of a year in review, I suppose. I'm going to show you everything that I cast on and finished in 2020 and tie that into what my Make 9 was. I didn't finish it. And then we'll talk briefly about Make 9 2021, because yes, it is going to happen. And I've also got a very small but perfectly formed acquisitions section. So let's get on with the show. So first bit I just want to run through is the Make 9 2020. I've got 2 winners to announce. The first winner is the end of Q4 winner, so everyone who either posted a finished object in the Ravelry group or on Instagram was in with a chance of winning a prize. And the prize that I have drawn actually did come from Ravelry, and the Ravelry username is Stride and Knits. I didn't look to see what your proper name was, I'm really sorry, but it was Post 97, and you knit an amazing woolly wormhead hat, really lovely. So congratulations. Your prize, I will give you a choice of prizes. You can either choose a pattern from Ravelry up to the value of £10, and I will happily gift that to you, or I would happily make you a project bag. So just get in touch with me either through Ravelry, through Instagram, or by email, which is in the details of which are in the description box below, and we can get that sorted out. So congratulations. And then the last prize to announce for the 2020 Make 9 is drawn from those who completed their all their 9 projects during the course of the year, and there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. Well done, congratulations. And the winner, where did I write your name down? The winner is someone who is a very, very regular contributor to the Make 9. So I was really pleased to see this name come out, and it's Karen. Karen, I'm going to not make a good job of your surname, but Karen Svaneveld. Karen, you will know who you are, I hope, from that. So really congratulations on finishing your 9, and congratulations to everyone else as well. And Karen, similarly, if you would like to pick either a pattern up to the value of £10, or I'll happily make you a project bag, then just get in touch with me and let me know. I know you know how to get in touch with me. So yeah, massive congratulations to everybody. Thank you so much for taking part. I was pretty absent from the Make 9 over the course of the year. I think it was one of those things that I struggled to connect with during 2020, but I have a really strong feeling that the 2021 Make 9 will be bigger and better, and I will be right in there with the rest of you. So we will talk about that in a little while. But now I'm going to talk about what I made during 2020, share things with you, give you some thoughts on some of the projects a few months on from finishing, and let you know how I got on with my Make 9. I just want to pull the picture I had out of my box so I can remind myself I've got it there. You don't need to see it because it's all got all scribbles on, but I shall refer to that. Right, here is my pile of everything that was a complete project during the course of 2020. So I both cast on and finished off the project last year. I obviously finished things that were cast on before 2020 and have cast on things that are still on the needles, and I'm not going to concentrate on those today. I just wanted to take you on a little journey covering my completed objects for the year. And it was really nice actually pulling them out of my wardrobe. One item came out of my dirty sock bag. But I just thought, yeah, let's share with you what I have been making. So if I can find my facts and figures, I cast on and cast off, so let's just call those I finished, 15 projects, 5 things that went round the neck, 6 pairs of socks, 2 hats, 1 sweater and 1 pair of mittens. 2 of these objects I don't have with me because they were Christmas gifts, but one of them was a simple beret for my mother-in-law, Audrey. Audrey, if you're watching, hello. And the other item was, I forget the name of it, but it was a scarfy thing that went, did I show it to you last time? I can't remember, maybe not. Anyway, it was a scarfy thing for my mother who won't be watching this, so we don't need to get descriptions right. Yeah, so let's run through these. I'm just going to go from the top. They're kind of in project type order. So first off, I cast these on right towards the end of last year and they didn't take very long. Just a pair of simple mittens. I can't remember the project name. But you know, they're as simple as they get. They're knit out of Rerum, Natura, Gilliatt or Gilliatt. I can't remember the name of the colourway. The yarn is gorgeous. I absolutely love Gilliatt. Come back into focus. There we go. And I don't know if it's just me, but this is just a little bit loose at the top. So they're not my most favourite thing I have ever knit, but I tell you what, they do keep my hands warm when I'm walking to work in the mornings, and I can just do that. I can scrunch my fingers up inside them. So a practical but not wholly loved item of clothing. I really can't remember the name of the pattern. It was written well. It's just, yeah, I think there should probably be just maybe a little bit of drawing in of the ribbing, perhaps. If I were to make it again, maybe I'd reduce the number of stitches at that point. Anyway, right, on to the socks. So I think I said I had 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of socks there. I thought I said 6. I did say 6. I don't know why I can only see 5. Oh well, I'm going to show you 5 pairs of socks. What order shall we go in? Ah, I know where the other one is. Okay, let's do that one first because I will forget. This is a finished object since I last recorded. And it's my Lola Socks. So the Lola Socks are a pattern by Jules of So Sweet Violet. Proceeds went to fundraising for Bill's special bus. You've probably heard about it on other people's podcasts. The really good news about that fundraiser is that they smashed the target for raising money. Bill, I don't know if they've got the bus yet, I can't remember, but if they haven't, they will be able to get a new bus. So yay for that. Yay for the socks, because they're absolutely lovely. Shall I show you the pattern on the front? Oops. You can see that, just a really nice, sweet, like feather, bit like feather and fan, isn't it? Very straightforward, very easy to memorize, beautifully written pattern, and what absolutely gorgeous yarn. The yarn is from Lay Family Yarns, Kelly's yarn company, and it's in, I always get the name of the yarn, of the colourway, wrong. It's either Autumn is my favourite colour or my favourite, no, see, it's either Autumn is my favourite season or my favourite season is autumn, but something like that, you get the idea. And it's just delicious, delicious yarn. I love that colourway. Got a little bit of it left, so I'm going to use that in something, but I need to decide what. So yeah, so that's sock number 1. I'm going to put that on the floor, little crash. Right, sock number 2. Pair of, let me get the sock blocker so you can see. Pair of Scrappy Socks. I had a bit of a thing for Scrappy, or I thought I had a bit of a thing for Scrappy Socks last year, but this is the only one that was a complete project within the year. So yeah, and this was a 3x1 rib, completely random colours. Colour placement. I just put my hand in the bag, I think, and pulled out used the next colour that came out. It's a 3x1 rib. I did a 2x2 rib, 2x2 cuff, 3x1 for the rest of the sock. In hindsight, I should have just done 3x1 all the way down. Heel flap and gusset with a slip stitch heel and a square wedge toe. Really enjoyed knitting those. Haven't worn them a huge amount, I must admit, probably 2 or 3 times. But yeah, they just work really well with a pair of jeans, boots, and a bit of fun on a grey day. Whoops, they're all falling. Next pair of socks, and the socks that I had to rescue from the dirty sock bag, was my Robin socks. So this is a West Green Loft. This is a West Yorkshire Spinners colourway, one of their signature bird colourways in the Robin colourway, and this was their Christmas colourway from 2 years ago. I paired it with heels and toes, ribs, cuffs and toes were knit out of our Phil Kalana Arwetta Classic in the Red Squirrel colourway. I absolutely love wearing these. They fit really well. It's just a vanilla sock with a heel flap and gusset. They fit incredibly well, and it's my first pair of bird socks from the West Yorkshire Spinners range. I would be really keen to knit some more, actually, because I think they're going to wear really well. So yeah, really pleased with those. Where did I put the other one? There it is. Right, they can go back in the dirty washing basket. Next pair. This was a pair of socks that I knit, I think, during the summer. And it was a pair of socks that I didn't like at first, but then as I wore them, I realised that they're probably one of the best fitting pairs of socks that I have, and I absolutely love them now. So these are the Umbrella Socks by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. Really well written pattern. If you've never knit any of Kay's socks, sock patterns, I do recommend them because she writes them incredibly well. And it's a vanilla sock, knit toe up. This is where the magic of the pattern lies. It's an afterthought heel, and it uses Kay's umbrella toe pattern. And I usually prefer a heel flap and gusset because I find they fit me really nicely. And I didn't think I would like this, but as I said, as I started to wear it, I realised that it was a really well fitting. I just got cut off there. I was saying that I have discovered that I really like Kay's umbrella heel, afterthought heel. It's a really well fitting heel. So I'll make some more of those. The yarn is gorgeous. It's from Becky at Back to Blighty. And oh, I think it's in her albatross colourway, and this was a contrasting mini that came with the 50g skein. Quite like the 50g sock sets where you get 50g main skein and 20g mini. I find that I can very comfortably do a nice pair of socks using that combination of yarn. I never or rarely knit my socks very high up my legs. I quite like them that sort of size, and with a 50-20 you can definitely get a decent pair of socks. I take UK size 6, which is 39 in European sizes, and I don't know what it is. I think in America you have a different sizing range. Yeah, so really happy with those, and they are wearing incredibly well. I've worn these quite a lot, and there's no real sign of wear and tear. Yeah, so success. Just have a drink. I've got a little bit of a froggy throat today. Right, next pair of socks. Simple pair, but again I knit this during the summer. It is from Deep Stash. Oh, lovely. So this is a pair of Rose City rollers. I do like a pair of Rose City rollers. I've got a few of these now, and they would, particularly in the sort of spring and autumn months, they're definitely a go-to. The yarn is West Green Loft yarns, and I do not know the colourway name, but it was a club special 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, can't quite remember. Yeah, it's just a really nice sock. It's really pretty, isn't it? I don't normally go for pinks, but yeah, I just really like that. Again, worn these quite a lot, and no signs of wear or tear. Funnily enough, in another pair of socks, an older pair of socks, but not massively old, I got my first ever hole, which I need to learn how to repair. It's in the heel, so it was in sort of that bit of the heel, on a heel flap and gusset. No, it wasn't on a heel flap and gusset. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to need to learn how to do some darning over the next few weeks to get that fixed. So yeah, Rose City rollers, very happy with those two. And then my final pair of socks, possibly, but not definitely, my favourite pair of socks that I've knit this year. Partly to do with the yarn, partly to do with the pattern. Here they are. These are, can you guess? Do you recognise the pattern? These have been everywhere, on Instagram and on the internet, and with very good reason. It's another Kay Jones pattern. It's the Cronkled Socks. And I think they're just brilliant. They're really comfy to wear because of that slight ribbing in the pattern. Heel flap and gusset heel construction. I did a much shorter version. Kay's pattern I think is written for long socks up here, but I just did a rib, maybe about 15 rows, and one repeat of the pattern, and then straight into the heel. The yarn I used was a deep stash stranded dye works. The colourway was Fleet Street, which is a nice grey toned yarn. Loved using that. The mini at the end was from 2019's Giddy Yarns advent calendar, the one where she made a really great donation to local charities. I can't remember, she got 12 dyes, including herself, to dye up one mini skein each, based around sweets, I think. I might be wrong with that. And this was one of the colourways. I love that. So yeah, Cronkled Socks by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, knit in stranded dye works and a kind of unknown, but yeah. So extremely happy with these. As I said, they fit really well, and yeah, possibly my favourite pair of socks that I've knit this year. But it's like choosing between your children, really, isn't it? I like them all. I really do. I'm not just saying that to be nice. I really do like all the patterns, all the yarns. Yeah, it's been a good sock year. Excuse me, it's been a good sock year. Right, on to hats. As I said, I've knit 2 hats. One of them was gifted for Christmas to my mother-in-law, and the other one was the Brooklime hat. Pop it on. Really like it. It has stretched out a bit. It feels like it's a little bit too big for me now, but I suspect if I pop it into soak for a short while, it might pull itself back together again. So the Brooklime hat is a pattern by Rachel Coopy of Coop Knits, and the yarn that has been used is not West Yorkshire Spinners, Bar-Ramu Pip colourway that I bought from the very lovely Angela of Yarn and Yarns when I was at the Knitty Retreat in 2019 in Cardiff, I think. Yeah, it must be. So bought with the intention of making this hat. Angela had one in the same colours, but with a slightly different configuration. And I had fully intended to copy Angela, but got it wrong. But I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. The colour work, the pattern is really nicely written and quite easy to follow. And I've knit, this is I think probably the 3rd colour work project, and I don't think I've done that bad a job. So yeah, very pleased with that. So yeah. While we're on the subject of hats, just wanted to share this with you. This is completely off topic. This has nothing to do with projects started last year and finished last year. It was a project that was started last year, but I finished it just after New Year, so it doesn't come into this little roundup. But I just wanted to share it with you because I really like it, and it's my favourite hat now, and I just wanted to recommend this for you if you're looking for a hat project, if you're looking maybe to try brioche for the first time, if you're looking to do marling as well. There's all sorts of new different techniques going on in this, and this is the hat. This is the Vanilla Fog hat by Andrea Mowry, and I knit this as I was looking for another hat to knit, and I was looking to use up some of my odds and ends. I have a basket, let me show it to you because it's really nice. Ooh, look at that. I have a basket full of these odds and ends, and I was rummaging through it over the Christmas break and wanted to use some of them because this is kind of like some of my absolute favourites, and they're like big, decent quantities of yarn that could happily make another decent project. That's the Rose City Rollers yarn that I used. Anyway, ramble. So I was looking through it and I came across these 3 yarns. So I have used a Cascade Heritage, which is the green that I used in my exploration station. This copper colour is an Owl About yarn and is one of my favourite yarns that I've ever knit with. So the light's just coming in. It's making me look all dramatic. And I marled it with, what did I use? Oh, I think I used the ends of the yarn that I used in my Cronkled Socks, the stranded. But this, it's brioche, so it could be complicated, but it's not. It was such a lovely, quick knit, and it creates the most gorgeous, scrummiest fabric. I do like a brioche fabric. And, whoops, oh, excuse me, nothing to see here. And for a hat, it just fits really nicely. I have got a pom-pom on order that hasn't arrived yet. But yeah, I really like this. It is incredibly warm. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you're looking for a hat project. So I'm going to make some more of these over the next, well, just generally. I think this might be my go-to hat pattern. There we go. Right, let's take that off. Right, back on topic. On to things that go round the neck. First started and finished project was, well, I don't know the order, but let's talk about the one I've got around my neck. This is actually the first time I have worn this. It's the Evolve shawl by Joji Locatelli, and it's knit out of 3 different Mr. B yarns, or Bird Street yarns as they're now called. They've had a fab rebrand, and they've got their brand new sparkly website up and running. So yeah, what am I trying to say? Yeah, so Bird Street yarns, let me take it off so you can see. I can't remember the names of the colourways, but all the details are on my Ravelry page. It's a funny shaped shawl. I'll be honest, it's not my favourite. It's not my favourite shawl because of the shape of it. But I spent a little bit of time this morning sort of playing about with it. And it's, you know, it's such a waste of beautiful yarn. I was thinking this morning when I pulled it out of frogging it, but actually wearing it like this, just pulled through, so you can see, I mean, I love these 2 greys particularly. I would wear it like that. It does sort of hide the shape of the the shawl and it hides the beautiful pattern in it, but it's really soft and lovely, which is testament to the yarn. Yeah, so that's the Evolve shawl. Happier with it worn like this, and I will, perhaps I'll wear it to work tomorrow actually, now I've got it out. Right. Next project. This is a variation on a hitchhiker shawl. It's a hitchhiker with eyelets. Really long. You get a lot of shawl for your money with this one. This is a 100-gram skein of Sherry Iris yarn in the Goldfinch colourway. It was a lovely gift from my lovely friend Caroline. Hello Caroline. And I had been inspired by Jane at Hedgerow Yarns, who has knit quite a few of these. The Hitchhiker is a pattern by Martina Bem, a very widely knit up pattern. I've worn it a few times, not masses, but I shall be wearing it in the spring, I think, because of, you know, it's kind of a springy colourway, isn't it? And because of the eyelets, it's a bit airier than something like this, so perfect for the spring, I think. And I shall, yeah, I'll put that back in the wardrobe until spring has sprung. Next up on the neck section is one of my favourites. Very similar shape actually, isn't it? So this is the Friday morning shawl. It's a brioche knit shawl. Long, narrow triangle. I can't remember. Oh, is it a Kate Atherley pattern, I think? I'm sure it's a Kate Atherley pattern. The yarn, I love the yarn. It's Biff Sugar Yarns, so lovely Alison, in her Gone to Earth colourway. And it's on her merino cashmere nylon base. It's, well, if you know what brioche is like, then you'll know how squidgy and squishy that is. Added to that, MCN yarn, and you get the loveliest of textures and warm hugs around your neck. So I have been wearing that. I do really like that one. I just wear it wrapped round and round quite a lot. Anyway, final shawl of the year was a bit of an epic. It's a 2 skein shawl. So I've got a couple of 1 skeins, a 2 skein and a 3 skein. And this is my pure joy. Oh, look at it. Another Hohi Locatelli pattern. The yarns used are the lighter one is Just Rust by Mr. B yarn. Mr. B, lots of love for Mr. B. And the absolutely beautiful, gorgeous copper is Owlabout yarn. It's a merino yak silk, I think. Jenny, this is, Jenny's dying. Well, I'm not actually, no. So, all the yarns I've used and showing you today, I'm just absolutely thrilled with. And actually, I think I've had a really good year of picking out and finding some really nice yarns. So, I just love that copper. Look at it shine in the sunshine. However, I haven't really worn this a huge amount. And that seems really ridiculous because it's beautiful. So I'm going to keep that out as well. And as well as this, I'm going to wear this to work this week. So yeah, pure joy. Okay, final object to show you. And this is the sweater. I won't spend long on it because you saw it in my last episode, but it's the Felix Sweater. There's a story behind this as a finished object which you can go and have a look at in my last episode. I've not done this before, but if I can do, I'll put a link up here to where you can go and see the full story of this sweater. I really like it. I really like the yarn. The yarn is Let Lopi. Can't remember the name of the colourway, but all the details will be on my Ravelry page. The yarn is it's rustic, but it's not particularly itchy, and I do struggle with itchy yarns, but I can wear this with something underneath, and actually you need something underneath it because it's quite a loose gauge. You probably can't see, but this has been worn an awful lot over the winter months. It is not showing any signs of pilling at all, so yeah, I will use that yarn again definitely, but no, just a really good, functional but pretty and warm knit. So highly recommend the Felix sweater. So that is everything that I have. That's all my completed items for 2020. So how did I get on in my my Make 9 for 2021? So if you ignore all the scribbling, so I had some Scrappy Socks, so I've done that. One Skein Wonders, I've got a couple of those, the Hitchhiker and the Friday Morning. What's that one? Hat, so I've done a hat. That I haven't done, that was a design of mine that I wanted to do, so I haven't done that. That's Brioche. I've done the Friday Morning shawl, which was a One Skein Wonder, but I've got more than one Skein Wonder, so I can tick that off. Mittens, yeah, I've done mittens, fingerless, but they're mittens. Colour work, Brookline hat again. I don't know if I can count that. Oh no, I can, because I've got the hat that you haven't seen, which was a gift for Audrey. So I can count my hat, Brookline hat, as colour work. Gift for Mum, so that was the necky thing. And then sewing. I was going to make a start on sewing some garments, so I haven't done that. So 7 out of the 9, which for me actually isn't bad. And that takes us to Make 9 2021. Just going to pause the camera because it's going to stop in a minute. Right, restarted the camera, and there was a knock at the door. So, Make 9 2021. We will do it again this year. I will be more present, and it's going to be pretty much the same, I think, as 2020. So, instead of naming 9 actually, let me rewind a bit. For those of you who don't know what the Make 9 challenge is, it's basically a year-long, for us, it's a year-long make-along, where at the beginning of the year, you make a plan to make 9 things. And in the make-along element of it is that you post each finished object into the finished object thread in Ravelry, or there's an Instagram hashtag, and at the end of each quarter, so in April, July, October and January next year, I draw a prize from the finished object thread. And then if you complete your 9 items, this time next year, I will draw a prize from the completed grid element as well. So it started out with us as naming 9 specific patterns, so very specific, and Personally for me that didn't work, because I don't know about you, but I have always got ideas of patterns that I want to make, and that changes very regularly, and certainly through the course of 12 months. So we came up with the idea of being less specific than that, and widening it out to more things than just knitting and crochet. So the idea is that you name 9 goals, focuses, types of things that you want to make throughout the course of the year, tick them off as you go, and that gives you a focus for your making throughout the year. So as an example, where did I put my list? This I think is what I want to make, but I haven't set my grid up yet, so it's not the final 9. Well, it might be, but it might not be. So I want to make 2 things for the head, 3 things for my body, so jumpers probably. I want to make more gifts for people. I want 1 shawl in that lot, in my 9, and 2 things for hands, and I think that's 9. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. People do name specific patterns, and if that's what you want to do, then you can do that. We have had people making sewing things, weaving, bobbin lace, all sorts of things. No limits, as long as it's something that you are hand making. We've had somebody turning wooden spoons. How amazing is that? So whatever it is that you want to make throughout the year, put them in a grid, post that in the chatter thread that is set up. Thank you for doing that, you know who you are. That really kicked me up the bottom to do something about it, actually, so thank you. Yeah, post your 9 making intentions in the chatter thread at the beginning of the year, and then post your finished object threads in the finished object thread. Chat away in the chatter thread, show us your progress, and yeah, we'll see how this year's version of the Make 9 goes. There will be some hashtags. I'll put them on screen. So there'll be a hashtag for just sharing your work generally on Instagram. There will also be a separate hashtag if you are unable to use Ravelry and want to post your finished items on Instagram, then you can use a specific hashtag. So I will set that out. That's set out in the rules in the Ravelry threads as well, but that's not much good for you if you can't use Ravelry, so I will put it down below as well. Anything else I need to tell you about that? I don't think so. I think just as many people, you don't have to finish all your 9 things. Clearly I didn't, and I never have done. But yeah, it'd be great to see lots of people taking part. If anyone wants to offer up any prizes, they would be really gratefully received. Although I'm really happy to make bags and go shopping and offer pattern prizes and so on. But the more the merrier. So let's kick 2021 off with a real strong focus on what we'd like to make throughout the year and see how we get on. Right, nearly there. One more thing to talk about in my basket, in my box in my basket. Let's get rid of that. So this is sort of the acquisition section. I haven't bought myself anything, but I just wanted to share this really lovely gift that ran throughout December. So Kelly from Lay Family Yarns sets up a swap every year between makers, whereby you send your partner an advent calendar that you've put together yourself and various other bits and pieces. I was really fortunate to be paired up with my lovely friend Kelly from Celtic Cast On, and I actually think I got the better end of the deal here, Kelly. I was just thrilled with my advent calendar and what was inside the package. So publicly, I've thanked you already, but Kelly, thank you so much. Publicly, let me express my gratitude to you. I have started using the minis. I started this project throughout December. Some of the minis won't go into it, but some of them have, and I've started a granny rectangle using some of the really strong jewel tones, earth tones that were in the package, and I absolutely love that. It's definitely going to be a long-term make, because I will be particularly picky about the yarns that go in here. Oops. But just wow, how lucky was I to get all these beautiful colours. I have started using my own scraps as well, but just makes me really happy to see that. Thank you, Kelly. And as well as the yarns, there was a lovely sweetie in each day's package, which if you remember from my last podcast, I have been on a bit of a weight loss program, still doing it, and still sort of maintaining now. But Kelly, your sweets went down ever so well, I have to say. They were probably the first sweets I'd eaten since the summer, and oh boy, they were lovely. I also wanted to share, so we had to put in something handmade into the package, and look at that. Kelly, you're a genius. I think that's a coal tit. I might be wrong. I did wonder if it's a long tail tit. But it's beautiful. I'm so chuffed with that, and that is going to sit on the mantelpiece in my living room, taking pride of place. It's been sat in my podcasting box and up to this point. Oh, but I just love that. And not only that, oh gosh, there's 3 things to show you. So I don't know, you may or may not know about, let me just sort this package out, hang on. So I follow and have followed for quite a long time on Instagram someone called Cedar River Knits. I can't remember her first name, but she makes the most beautiful progress keepers and stitch markers, and she's Canadian based, so it's quite expensive for us to have delivery over to the UK, but I always am in awe of her talent. She hand makes all of this, I believe, and Kelly sent me 2 of these. Oh, this is not going to be easy to show because of the light, but oh, I feel so lucky. So I do recommend that you, if you're on Instagram, go and check out Cedar River Knits, because she does, her pictures are lovely, and she's very clever indeed. Just a really nice aesthetic. So now I've shown these to you, I can use those. And then last but not least, also in the package, we agreed to swap some yarn. Look at that. That's right up my street, isn't it? So this is from Tiny Human Knits, and it's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon in the denim overalls colourway. And goodness me, I couldn't be happier. It's a high twist as well. I really like high twist. Don't know what I'll make. It does shout socks, I have to say. I think it's probably, whoops. I think it's probably a micro stripe, isn't it? I'm going to focus. Whoops. It's probably micro striping, but I don't know. Anyway, might cast that on before I record again so we can see. So yeah, so that was that really. I said that December was a bit blur. That was one of the bright spots within December. So Kelly, thank you so much. A lot of fun putting the package together. Yeah, I think I might take part again this year. Right, I think I'm going to call it a day. I reckon I've been talking for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. See if I can cut it down to something reasonable. I do hope you are keeping well. I hope that the next few months are kind to you. Let's be kind to each other. I think we've got a tough few months coming up, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, so grasp hold of that if you're struggling a bit. And yeah, use your craft as a comfort, because I think we've all been blessed with having that ability over the last year, really, haven't we? So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join in with the Make 9 along, and comment below if you've got any questions or anything you want to talk about. And if you're one of the prize winners, don't forget to get in touch, and that will be me coming to an end. I'm not very good at finishing these. I do sort of tend to ramble a bit, but I'm going to go and stop now. So wishing you all the very best until we speak again, which I hope will be sometime in February. One of my challenges for myself this year is to be more consistent, as I said. So hopefully early February, early to mid-February, we'll have another podcast out. I'm going to call it a day. Goodbye, lots of love to you all, and speak to you soon. Bye bye.